Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at Solana, see what's going on. It is not performing very well as pretty much expected. Again, we haven't respected the descending trend line by breaking through that and retesting. We continue to get rejected out here. And keep in mind too, Bitcoin is working its way still down, effectively not really making higher highs either, but it is establishing higher lows for the moment. So if we can recover back up to the 98K range, there's a decent chance we'll break it because it does show that the bears are losing control here or losing that selling pressure. So mostly good stuff, just kind of a bit of a consolation if nothing else, because again, the market looks terrible. There's no other way around it. And as I mentioned yesterday, Solana, do not take it long until we break above that 198K range, or sorry, 198 range rather, and we can see 198 was exactly that level that rejected and continued lower. So we're starting to create a range here between 198 and approximately 192, 191, okay? So just know, as you continue to establish a range, the likelihood of breakdown is higher because we derive from the upside, okay? So there's a distinct chance we go lower here, just throwing it out there based on that pattern alone. Now, if you've been watching me for any stretch of time, you'll know that we don't take trades based on patterns, right? You look at everything, make an evaluate decision. If the entire market is showing bullish strength and you have a bearish, type of divergent, pattern, you don't take a short into that, right? That's just the way it goes. But for right now, there's no other way around it. The market is looking pretty terrible, and taking a long right now is just a higher risk trade. Not recommending you short this level either, don't get me wrong. But the truth is, we're working ourselves into a range. You can see a pretty easy range here to identify. 188 to 198 is the easy way to recognize it as far as upper and lower liquidation levels. So until we break that range, we're not going to see a breakout, right? Obviously, once we break that range, it's instantly a breakout. But the truth is, when you're stuck in kind of a range, you wait until it breaks out, and then you take a trade versus trying to break into that. Or you buy the bottom at 188, 190, and you take profits between 196 and 198. That's how range-bound trading works. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So simple way to understand it. A lot of liquidation between 198 and 203, as identified yesterday, and there's a lot of new late longs here at 186 to 188. This makes me a little concerned with how many longs are in the market right now, but again, that 186 to 190 range has proven to be a pretty solid little support range for us. Okay, so that's that, and then we tend to zoom out here. We can recognize there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 to 5 billion in liquidation between 185 and 190, and then of course maybe about 3 to 4 billion, perhaps 2 to 3 billion, depending on between 200 and 203. So there is more to the downside, and we're closer to the downside. Therefore, we got to respect the fact that we could go lower. All right, that's the general concept. We can also see liquidation delta is pretty heavy on shorts. So most people, the right people, are shorting Solana right now. Okay, I don't recommend taking along with this coin, even though I know I started the video yesterday saying, it's looking good. We might want to consider buying this dip. If you watch the entire video, you'll know that it was not a good recommendation to take along, okay? So please, 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 if you're gonna do anything, watch the video all the way through. Don't be a troll and just comment based on a thumbnail or perhaps even the first few words I say. That's why you analyze the charts and you go from top to bottom. You need to recognize the overall picture. You don't just start with a bias and go for it, right? That's where a lot of people falter. And again, I've done that before too, don't get me wrong, but that's why I like to impart you with this knowledge, because it is very helpful in the overall sentiment. So to any of those trolls from yesterday, make sure you just watch the whole video and you'll come to realize there's a method to the madness here, okay? And I try to make it as quick as possible. So let's get back into this. 198, 199, open interest here. These are a lot of late longs here. As you can see, they're currently underwater. What do you know? The price action comes up to that level, a lot of exit liquidity occurs, and people are trying to get out of their underwater positions. That's generally where open interest is beneficial to identify, knowing where people are hedged the most. So we have the most amount of positions at 198, therefore reinforcing resistance at that level. All right, so let's double check the daily time frame. See kind of what's up here. Just friendly advice or just quick little bumper sticker. I'm not even going to bother to really look too much at the daily timeframes today, because they're all terrible. Even bullish coins right now still have pretty bearish daily timeframes. So that's a simple way to understand it. The key takeaway here is that we got a lot of confluence at 212 / 210, the upper liquidation range. So just know if the price does travel towards that level, it may be advantageous to consider securing profits in the 205 to 209 range, just below that key level resistance range. Okay, again, moving averages are not resistances, they're just letting us know the trend. The trend is down. No other way around it. There's nothing here on the daily time frame that looks good. 4-hour time frame, very similar scenario here. As you can see, we did not break above. This is another reason, kind of reiterating the resistance range at 198. We see a lot of confluence here too with the two important moving averages saying, nope, we haven't broken our trend line yet. We're not worthwhile taking long. Now, granted, if you took long at 193 and closed at 198, good, that's fine. That's what you should do. But in situations like this, most people get greedy. They bought that little dip here. Now they're currently underwater or just barely at break even. So it sucks, I know, but that's how it goes. Anyways, the whole point of this is the likelihood of the price action going up from here is greater because Bitcoin is starting to stabilize at this level, establishing higher lows. So if that continues to hold, then we're good to go, right? It's always the same caveat though, every single time I analyze these charts. If Bitcoin doesn't destroy the entire market, then we're gonna be just fine, right? That's the common theme there. The truth is Bitcoin's kind of in an indecisive state. So in turn, when you're not sure what Bitcoin's gonna do, you probably don't wanna trade altcoins, okay? It's just one of those situations. So consider relaxing on the sidelines. This coin is underperforming compared to a lot of other coins. So I don't really think it's worthwhile no matter how much you love this coin, right? Other than that, nothing else really to note. We're under 50 on the RSI. Everything is bearish on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame too. Hourly, we're going to see if there's any consideration for a long, which there isn't. This is basically a green light for every green light possible for a consideration on a short. Now, do I recommend you short into a key level support? No. And if you do short, you're going to want to short, get in and get out quickly because we can see, even though based on liquidation, you got to recognize that liquidation ranges are support ranges too, okay? So there's a lot of support between 186 and 190. So we're going to need to see Bitcoin literally dump to 94,000 or lower in order to see this 186 level tested. If so, consider some limit orders there for your spot bag. Do not set limit orders in the blind with a leverage play. That's never a good call. You always want to watch those and make sure you know what you're doing, okay? Again, if you're following my signals, it's a different story altogether, maybe different strategies, but again, if I ever consider a long entry, I'm looking to get in quickly and soon, at least in this market, because I want to be able to get out quickly too. Last but not least, the thing that's also important, I forgot to mention this here, to my current community members or anyone who wants to consider registering, new deposit rewards, but they're pretty simple, pretty easy, low required. So check those out, link down below. Feel free to utilize that benefit there that's available through Bitunix. Cool. Other than that, folks, not much else to really note. I would just say if you're going to consider a long, watch it closely. Hypothetically, this working within this range would be advantageous. Just make sure you secure profits before 198 if you're going to take a long, because at this point, Bitcoin is going to reject out at 98,000 again if we get back there. That's just kind of the common theme right now. Okay. All right, folks, I'll post our playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. Links down below for that if you're curious. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you soon.